Hello, my name is Eric Follick. I'm a Platonist, contemplative, ascetic, and renunciant. I'd like to read for you a short little piece that I wrote called An Individual, quote, Benedict Option, unquote. Note that this little piece was originally written for and submitted to a well-known national conservative Abrahamic magazine for publication online on their website, but it was rejected. So it's the way it was written. It was geared specifically towards them and a little more generic and Abrahamically oriented than I would have written it otherwise. For example, I don't mention anything about liberation from birth and death, and I use the word God more than I might otherwise. Plotinus, in fact, also uses that word to refer to the good or the one, but of course for us it doesn't have the same connotations as in the Abrahamic system with their personal God. So just bear those things in mind. And if you would like to see a written copy of this, it's available on my website at www.aumayosllc.com. That's EUMAIOSLLC.com. Okay, thank you, and here we go. So this is called An Individual, quote, Benedict Option, unquote, by Eric S. Follick. To all appearances, the modern world is becoming more secularized and diluted practically day by day. Traditional and absolute moral values in any sense of the transcendent are disappearing. Scientism, positivism, materialism, and the like are the dominant, quote, religion, unquote, brooking no dissent, and a, quote, new totalitarianism, unquote, is spreading. One that is all the more insidious for the fact that it is based unconsciously on the most dubious and undemonstrable of metaphysical propositions, but thinks that it doesn't have a metaphysics, and in fact denies the possibility of metaphysics at all. We live in a world that is the most inimical to any sort of genuine spirituality of probably any in at last the least 25 or 30 centuries. We are in the depths of the, quote, Kali Yuga, unquote, as it were, and there doesn't seem to be much likelihood of any reversal in the foreseeable future. Given this situation, I have seen that some traditional Christians have concluded that the battle for the soul of the modern world has been lost, at least for the time being, and that the only remaining alternative is a withdrawal into separate enclaves, this being referred to as the, quote, Benedict option, unquote. Reading about this, quote, Benedict option, unquote, was an opportunity for reflection on my own experience and situation. For more than 3 decades, I have lived and practiced alone as a single and solitary contemplative, ascetic, and renunciant, incognito right in the middle of the most contemporary urban environments, virtually without any kind of support at all of any kind, moral, spiritual, emotional, cognitive, financial, material, or logistical. I have been celibate in the midst of sex-obsessed, permissive, promiscuous, and pornographic society, vegetarian and non-harming among flesh-eaters, teetotaling among drinkers and users of intoxicants, without a television or a car, unconcerned about the pleasures of food, drink, and entertainment among those who know nothing else, concerned only about realizing union with the divine absolute and transcending this world among people who acknowledge only the realm of the senses and matter. Often even basic physical survival has been tenuous in a Procrustean world that no longer has a place for renunciants and contemplatives outside of society. Great difficulties have presented themselves in such things as trying to rent housing without a credit history or much income, finding enough part-time employment to get by while not fitting the norms of society, and many other such things, very many other such things. Emotionally, I have had to endure crushing loneliness and the frightfulness of feeling like the only sane person in an insane asylum and being alone without fellow travelers or peers. I much sympathize with the loneliness and anxiety now felt by traditional Abrahamists, but the degree of support and company that they have seems, in comparison, downright luxurious. In the end, what makes a person eudaimon or not is only the closeness or distance of the individual soul from the One, the Good, the Absolute God. This doesn't mean just doctrinal acquiescence, but rather actual approach to God and contemplation with striving for holiness, asceticism, renunciation, purity, and wholehearted devotion in all one's life. This is certainly much easier, more pleasant, and less frightening to pursue in a traditional pre-modern and supportive environment with the aid of fellow travelers. Its necessity, however, is not at all negated by the adverse conditions of the present day. The individual soul needs to turn from the things of the senses in this world to the transcendent, to divine, to God wholeheartedly, and follow the ancient path of the communion of saints. However more difficult and unsupported this way may be in this brave new secular materialist modern world. This is an individual, quote, Benedict option, unquote, that each soul can implement right now, if only Providence lights the way. Thank you very much.